Today, the 24th day of December, one day before Christmas. And it has to be a sin to what I've seen. This is the first time I've been in a mall in 30 years during the Christmas season. And I think it's so sinful to see what's going on with the black people, my black people in the mall. And I went there and they were swarming, mostly young people, greedy young people that want their most expensive of everything. The 26th, they will be broke for months for what leading up to false belief of Christmas and gift. And they don't give a hell what's the meaning. What is the meaning of Christmas? What's the true meaning? For black people to spend as much as they could spend, to be as lavish as they could be for one day. But the most interesting thing I saw in the mall was there were no white people. I saw one older couple in their 60s. They looked like they were American in the mall. Look at them, wow, lost. And I take a left, I took a 360, it just hit me, bam. Look at the Negroes. They're like maggots, like flies swarming a corpse all over. I said, Jesus, these people in Nassau got money. The only other white people I saw there was some white girls with some black fellas trying to fool them like they care. That ain't working. But it's like the white people said, it's the Negro Day. Stay the hell of the mall. And I wonder what was going on because I've never been in this type of environment. But I had to cycle 1 hour. I wanted to get a car charger for my car and one shoes. I had one shoes since the hurricane. My shoes start to smell. I want to get a shoe. And I couldn't find parking for 1 hour. They're paying Russian roulette out there in the parking. That is how much money is being spent into these white people's store. They're swarming. I've never seen this. That has to be sinful that they forgot God and all of this. They're thinking about their own selfishness. And it looks hurtful to me. Coming from Abaco, coming to the hurricane, and you ain't got nothing. And these people are spending everything on material things that only gonna last tomorrow. And tomorrow night, somebody ain't gonna be happy. The children gonna be screaming because they hate what you did. You buy me this old present. Y'all even don't see what Kai see after coming from hurricane. Love yourself. And it reminds me what the swarming I saw in the mall. It reminds me of what's going on in Abaco, how the government of the Bahamas is politicizing the hurricane relief in Abaco. The Prime Minister, Hiram Lewis, Darren Henfield, and all of them involved doesn't realize that there's some human being involved with this. Get away from the politics. And it's so obvious that there's politics involved. The people that are on the board with Hiram Lewis, all of them from Marshaba, they're all white. And I got to keep, my government is so lost. They're all white. They had one black man on the board for North Abaco. The Prime Minister took him off. That was his deal. He had to man up and take him off. You imagine that? One black person from Abaco that went through the storm was on the committee and was taken off, whatever the reason. Well then, who is on the board to sit down when the people on the board for Marsh Harbor, Hopetown, is more concerned about getting Marsh Harbor because the stuff in Pelican Shores and Marsh Harbors is still on the ground. So they have to be more concerned about us. Darren Henfield, who you got on the board to look out for your people? Because we're seeing more the backs of you than the front. Shouldn't you, brother, because you're not home, shouldn't you have one person that look like us on the board for North Abaco? Zero as of the date. Nobody is on the board. And how is it that you have to be F&M to be on the board? That is the politicizing of the board. Why there's not some independent? Why is there not some PLP on the board? Only F&M got enough sense to see what's needed in North Abaco? I beg to differ. There is nobody, and I repeat that, there is nobody on that board that cares about Abaco, that knows Abaco, and knows Abaconians, such as Kai Mills. I am not begging for no position. I don't need no position. But it's wrong to see how the Prime Minister have politicized the recovery, have politicized. You imagine the woman as she was the head of the Senate. Did she leave the Senate to be head of the reconstruction of Abaco because she cared of Abaco, or is it because of the dollar signs? How much are they being paid, and are they being paid to be on this board? Abaco and the Bahamas need to know, are they being paid? Is this a voluntary position? Well, guess what? I think they made 2 trips to Abaco and met with the board, but they have not included Abaconians. If you are going to do something for Abaconians, how K. Smith got to know more about Abaco than Abaconians? Huh? And the ones that they have on the board is not people skill, not endorsement. They don't know Abaco. One of them stay in his office year round. Nobody don't see him. So how is he going to know what is needed? And then they are politicizing the contract, the people that has the means to do and has the knowledge to do. Oh, Kai may decide to run in the next election. We better don't give him no contract where he can have some money. We want to keep him dormant. We don't want to put our best people forward. We want to put people who's going to say yes, sir, no, sir, to the Prime Minister. Nobody is going to say, no, this is not suitable for Abaconians at this time. We ought to be doing better. We ought to be doing better. How come the first priority of the government is to eradicate the mud, and then them ignorant F&Ms, they open their mouth to Kai? Or the government ain't the smartest people in the Bahamas. Hold on. They ain't smarter than nobody in Abaco. Look at what we get in the cabinet now. They are so smart that if the election was called yesterday, they will be out today. That is so smart. You may do something for people, but if the people don't feel what you're doing, it's like you're not doing nothing. The people have to feel, and they have to be a part, and they have to have the say on what's going on to affect their life forward. And if Abaconian is not involved in the process, it is not about Abaconian. It is about the F&M, baby. And so far, the F&M is not the government for the people at this time. The F&M has failed the people and continue to fail the people of North Abaco. You better try to get some independent people on there to make your carnival look good. Because so far, you forgot that there's some human beings involved in this process, and they're called Abaconians. And to spend $7 million and continue to clean up the mud swiftly, and forgot Pelican Shores. We got all the white knights, all the die-hard F&Ms, all the generals, to continue to ignore that. to continue to ignore the main strip from the airport and to have nobody on the board to speak for the people of North Abaco, therein that's unacceptable. That's who you are. That's what we got. Because you got the government you deserve. I told Abaconians when this happening, how could you elect Darren? I told them reverence will have all the Jesus, all the Holy Spirit, and they ain't got nothing behind the ASC. God gave you 5 cents. And how could the bishops and the pastors go along with that? Darren has not been involved in any aspect of our lives. It started off as a crooked deal. He was not even able to sit at the table with us when we were introducing ourselves because he was then working for the government. And you started wrong, it's like building a foundation of a home. If it started wrong, the house will crumble. And so far, the F&M candidate house is crumbling. His family could do what all they want, try to promote all they like, but what has already happened in Abaco for the last 4 months, that to date, we haven't sat down to the table with our member of parliament yet. I want to remind Darren Henfield that human beings elected him. Again, Darren Henfield, human beings in Abaco elected you. Dr. Hubert Minnis didn't elect you. You could stay on the side of Dr. Minnis as much as you like. All you want to do is smell his fart. Once you can smell the fart from the Prime Minister, you okay. That is all you are. That is all you want. But that doesn't do nothing for Abaconians. You fly away to all these meetings, but you have not had one meeting with the people of Abaco, and we will remember that when we go to the poll. We will remember that when the campaigning begins. Not one meeting in 4 months, and you went all over the globe. Don't ever disrespect the people that got you where you are, because you're going to need these same people in short order. 2 years down the road, and I will remind them, where were you? Where were we in the equation before Christmas, after the hurricane, 4 months in? You didn't think enough of us to have a meeting with us to date. It's one of those Christmas Eve message to Darren, the Prime Minister, the F&M, that forgot that there's some human suffering. There are some humans involved with this. Forget about politicizing it and let Abaconians decide what should be best for Abaconian. Who else to decide but us? It's one of these Kai Care videos. Y'all have a good Christmas. Christmas is off my calendar for this year. Kai Cares on Christmas Eve.